Well, we followed the traffic model that we used in the past. We went out and took a look at there's been a couple different ideas of how to move the trucks and all the traffic through the village. And we've had some concerns because the staffing at the fire department's fire police organization has diminished quite a bit, and we've been bringing in the Endicott Auxiliary Police to assist. Right now, we're working with DOT to put up signage to try to get truck traffic to avoid the downtown area completely as much as possible. We're going to reach out to Lofty's and Weitzman's. We always put in a courtesy call to them, which helps minimize a lot of the traffic through the village. We took a look at the roadways. We did some measurements today, and we're thinking that right now we'd like to stick with the Central Ave, Fox Street, Main Street model. It provides wider roadways for the trucks to turn, and it's an area that does not require fire police or law enforcement intervention to get the trucks through. The turning radiuses are a lot wider there, and there's no curbing in the majority of the area, so we don't have to worry about cut tires. And if there's a little extra swing room that's needed, they can go into the old parking lot at Video King or off to the edge of the road a little bit by the old Bill's Diner.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions for any of the Strawberry Festival people?
I have a couple.
I'm sure.
What do we have in Draper Park on Saturday?
We have the, go ahead.
No,
Pam.
okay. Calvary's Love Church has children's activities there all day.
What do we have in the courthouse square on the west side and the west side and the north side, from the courthouse up to Main Street on that side of the courthouse square? Anything over there?
Up here, yeah, we have the puppets and vendors.
There are vendors over there in the courthouse square?
Yes.
Are there dinosaurs over there too?
The dinosaurs,
Well,
well,
front, the dinosaurs from the other side, but they go all over.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. No, the reason I ask that is because I'm interested to know if there were things there. A concern for me is if we're going to route traffic, which there's a decent chance that we may, and have Park Street and Court Street closed, we may be routing all the main traffic down Front Street. I have a slight concern about the children's stuff being over here in Draper Park, with this being the main route of all the cars and traffic. That's why I was asking if there was something up here, if that was a possible place for the children's stuff.
They fenced that whole area off at Draper. They have fencing and
Right with the kids.
I know that they fenced that for years, but we've never had, the traffic has never gone there before. Now, if we change the traffic, all the traffic will be over there.
Pat, is that
All day long,
Well, we
every...
can eliminate that. Or
I'm not saying that I want to limit it, I'm just asking what's there, and if there was a place that would be more appropriate.
We can look at that, yeah.
Yeah, we might.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's,
It's a good thought.
yeah, no, that's,
And so my brain was immediately thinking, is that piece of Court Street
I
there a
think it
place for the
is,
children?
maybe. We'd have to talk to Katie.
Well, now we have more room.
Defenders.
Yeah, we can do it.
It's
Yeah,
a
we can move
thought,
it. We can move
because
it.
that concerns me with it.
Yeah, no, we can move
Because
it.
one of the things we're trying to do here is make these streets closed,
No, you're
so that we don't
absolutely
have
right.
people in traffic sway.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Thank you.
Another thing that's been asked of me, and I don't see a reason, since we've been doing this forever, we kind of know how this works, where everything goes. It's been asked of me, I'd like to do this, to not have the bus stop we have the bus stop here up Page Street coming in from Hickory's, to not have the bus stop down here on Main Street, to have the bus stop on Temple and North. Okay, you folks know what I'm talking about, the village board here? Have the bus stop.
For
The bus is coming, no, the bus stop.
Just the bus.
Bus stop
It comes
for the
from
people that are
Marvin.
coming from Marvin Park.
Oh, okay.
It's been forever over here by CVS. This shows it on the other side of the street, but it's been over here by CVS forever and ever and ever.
I know,
And-
it's been by the Parkview. We moved it up there because of the new traffic pattern. Yeah, it used to be at the Parkview. When
Okay.
it came from
They come down Main Street, they stop here on the corner of Main Street, they do some things there because I
That's
direct the traffic there.
proposed, yes.
No, okay.
Alright. But I mean, we could.
All right, so anyways, they stop here on Main Street and let people stop, and they stop here at the Parkview. So obviously they're not coming to Parkview anymore.
Right.
I would like to recommend that we have the bus stop then we'll have to figure out how to move them at North Avenue and Temple. And there's a number of ways we can get them in there and out of there. And the reason for that is that my North Avenue merchants had said it would be wonderful if everybody gets off here and comes down, here's North Avenue, gets
That would be great.
left out, they come down here and they all walk up North Avenue to get to the festival, and then when they leave, they walk down North Avenue.
Yeah, I like
So they've
that.
asked that that be a possibility. So I would like to recommend that we, that
That's a really good idea.
we
Yeah,
do
as
that.
long as the bus people think they can get the buses around, you know. We'd have to
We'll-
work with the
we'll
bus
figure-
garage. Yes.
We'll figure out how to do that. We have a number of ways that we can do that.
Okay, I'll mark that down too.
All right.
Yeah.
That's just my suggestion. I'm not
Sounds good.
charging the world.
Oh, no, I think that's an excellent idea. Make them walk.
Well, then they see that there's merchants that want to go on North Street because that area seems to be very neglected with foot traffic. People don't get around there.
Traffic.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
So-
Time is on.
The times on the van?
Street closures.
Oh, the times of the street closures, yeah.
Okay, so North Avenue, is that gonna be closed all the way to Fox Street?
Yes.
Yes.
It is, but the festival only goes up to Temple Street. We
Yeah.
close it at Fox, but there are no booths or anything from Temple to Fox. And that would be problematic, again, if we try to stop it there and bring the cars all the way down, the traffic all the way down to Temple and turn around Central, now we're getting into even, that would be worse traffic trouble.
They have done that for many years. They stopped the traffic at Fox, and it seems to work just fine.
Yeah, maybe the bus can actually turn around in a portion of that barricade. you know,
There's a number of ways that can be
Get people a
done.
little closer that can't walk as far maybe.
There's a number of ways that could be done.
I think that's a terrific idea, if they will showcase North Avenue also, because
So thank you for bringing, I'm not necessarily done yet, but thank you for bringing this plan. This is one
You're
thing
only
that
allowed two questions.
that we have a solid plan of exactly what you want to do.
There was a mention of something happening at the Barley Corner. Is that gonna be up and running?
Highly unlikely.
I mean, in the park next to the
No, it's not in the bar, it's not in the bar.
park.
Oh, it's in the park.
down
Oh.
the way, yeah.
Can we just mark that because it's iconic? you
If
know?
we say a water park, everybody says, where's that? If we say the
Oh,
water
you're
park, everybody knows where it is.
Across from Elks.
Yeah, that,
So. So we. And we know that the parking is, well, I have a pretty good idea what's there. So we're kind of talking about Saturday, and Friday is the more problematic time because that's when we have all the traffic and the cars and stuff. And I know there's a potential proposal here, that's probably a good one, to also, to have Park Street be two-way traffic. I assume this is if I'm getting this wrong, Jeff, you tell me. To have Park Street be two-way traffic from 5-ish till the race is done at 7:30-ish, and then close Park Street because we don't like the traffic on Park and Court, especially when there's a music stage in that square, and run the traffic around the detour Front Street Academy, Main, back down to North, because that won't be closed on Friday night. I assume, that's
correct.
So that's a thing we're sniffing at here, to have Park two-way from 5 till 7:30, police close that off at 7:30, and the traffic go around away from the Park and Court Street music stage for safety, et cetera, et cetera. So,
My question is, do we know what time Friday and Saturday the streets are closed and what streets are, just so that we can publicize that? And obviously, that's what we're.
In the plan,
It's in your packet.
in the plan is a plan. What we'll do is we'll post an officer at 2 o'clock on Lake Street at the entrance at the Lake and Main, and we'll just start advising anybody that's going down, you know, we plan on shutting the road off at 4 because the vendors can't come in till 4 o'clock. We shut the road off at 4, we'll start removing vehicles at 4, so you're more than welcome to park on Lake Street, but please have your vehicle off the road by 4 o'clock. We did that last year, and at 4 o'clock, the street was completely clear. It worked very well. Officers will be closing down the road at 4 o'clock so that the vendors can come in and set up. From 4 o'clock until 8 p.m. approximately, park will be two-way traffic. It'll be set up right after 4 o'clock and it'll run till about 8. We used 8 as a target time because we didn't know how late the walkers of the 5K would be coming in, so we allowed a little bit extra time there. So the 8 o'clock was the cutoff time into that, and then the fireworks go off at 10. The Court Street Bridge and Academy, or in Front Street from Academy down to the Dunkin' Donuts will be shut down at approximately 9:50 for everyone, all traffic. And once the fireworks are done, the fireworks vendor has to clear the bridge of any ordinance and check the area, and then as soon as he gives us the okay, we open the road back up and we start moving people out of the village.
Now, what time will the, ladies, what time will the festival, Friday night and music, et cetera, be done?
10 p.m.
It's gonna be 10 at 10, and that's when the fireworks are gonna be
Yeah,
at 10.
usually people start to display.
So are we not gonna have music during the fireworks, and we're not gonna have
Well,
music?
no, they'll be we're gonna have an all-star jam from 9:45 to 10, and they're gonna play through the fireworks.
Okay.
And then it'll be done.
At the end of the fireworks, that's when the music's done, and that's when we start closing up the festival.
What about, so what other streets are closed Friday night? So we have Lake Street, Church Street?
Church Street.
Because that was a question last year.
Eventually.
Park and Court.
Park.
So Main and North Avenue are open.
Okay.
On Friday.
No, we did, if I remember right, we did close Church Street because that was an issue
We
last
did.
week. So we did
It wasn't on
put
the
up
plan.
barricades at Main and Page to close the
Yes.
road so we can force people up Page. Then they can get onto Main Street and still travel back into the village.
Yeah, we did that last year.
Close church at Friday.
It was last minute, but we did it.
Yeah, we just made the plan for that this year to alleviate any problems.
Right. I just want to make sure we had that down. Because there was food trucks on Church last year.
Will people still be allowed to park on the other side of the bridge?
Yes, as long as they stay off the roadway.
All right, is there any kind of way to set up some temporary lighting? You know those spotlights they
Yeah, that's a
have?
good idea.
Because it's really dark over
It
there.
is dark on that side, I go that way, and it's awful dark.
I know that, like, we've done that, when we did Speedy Fest, we did, some stuff with the New York State DOT. I know that, Aviation in Binghamton had it in Tioga. I know that there's at least one, if not two, light towers, from Tioga County Emergency Services that may or may not be available to do that, over there. Besides that would be probably a rented resource that would have to come in.
Why not?
Because I'm going to check with emergency services or DOT to see, because that is dark over there.
Yeah, it's,
You want me to reach out to Mike tomorrow, Mike Simmons, and
Yeah.
let you know?
flashlights, phones.
So we get our lights working on there. And then Saturday, this map will be kind of what's closed. So Front Street, Church Street, Main Street, Lake Street, North Ave, Court Street, and Park Street. From, when do we start closing streets? Pretty early in the morning, right?
6:30 I'm scheduled to come in, start putting up the barricades and getting working, and then they'll get everything staged so that probably around 7 is when the street closures will actually start going into effect. And then we bring in staffing from the police department, fire police, and the auxiliary is all scheduled for 8 a.m.
Okay. What about the ancillary streets where you line up the parade? We have all that?
That's all blocked off with no parking. Officers have been posted around the perimeter, and I gotta put a call into Tim that runs the parade. And what we're trying to do is obtain from him, if he has one, they usually put people in groups, I forgot what he calls them.
Stations.
Well, they had units.
They're like stations.
Parade units, like 5 parade units. So what we wanted to do is try to obtain that from him before the festival, so that when all the people are coming in for the parade and they're encountering the police and fire police, that they will actually have a map or a list. They'll tell them what unit they're in and the best access to get into their area. Try to minimize the traffic abuse, because we've seen people coming down the street with trailers and then they're trying to U-turn with their trailers and people's it's a nightmare. So we're trying to get it so that we have 1 or 2 points of entry and we're driving them right into their spot without having a lot of traffic problems.
So anyway, I don't know how much work it is, but somehow to mark, so when you're in your, we had this problem last year, just as the village board, we were in the parade. We got into our area, I forget which, we were like the first unit or whatever, and you have to line up in order, in a number, but there's nothing like, you only know what number you are, you know what I mean? There's nothing on the ground, there's nothing. I don't know if we can do something simple.
That's where we're hoping to get an idea from him of the units and how many people, so we can try to assist them with that.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Rusty?
May I recommend that those type of details are the standard stuff that we have and the action plan and all the rest of that we will be working on and et cetera as we go along. May I recommend that we just tonight now give the Strawberry Festival permission to have their basic thing with the tweaks we've asked for. And I'm going to be making a motion of that in a minute. We're generally going to have pretty much the same Strawberry Festival we've always had. We're going to add Park Street closure to it. We're going to have a detour around. We're going to ask you to move the bus stop and, if possible,
Yes.
move the children away from the traffic.
It'll be done, yeah. I've written it out, and I'm also gonna print out another map, well, Lorraine does them, but I should have done it for tonight. We should have a map with the pink for Friday night, and then one for Saturday, and then you can just look at them next to each other, and it's not as confusing. So I'll make sure I get another map, too.
So I'm gonna make this resolution, and it doesn't matter whether it's part of this resolution or not, but we would very much like to have I know you guys have a follow-up meeting afterwards, but we would like to have a follow-up meeting, I think, with you a week or two after this to see how it went, what we think, and next year we would like to have meetings with you 6 months ahead, so we're not at the last minute as we're talking about what things we're gonna have, how is this working, how did we like stage in the middle here, is it dangerous, I don't know. That's the kind of thing that I'm looking at. So you guys know ahead now, that we're not waiting till the last minute to tell you all this stuff.
Oh, this is time ahead, trust me.
I know, you do your stuff ahead, but we don't want you to book 17 bands before you've talked to us next year. So then I would like to make the resolution that we allow the Strawberry Festival to close the streets that we discussed and have their festival in the manner we discussed. Vague enough, but.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that amongst the board?
I think it's a good idea that we go about it this way.
Yeah,
I mean, we got all the information that we asked for.
I would just recommend that there, from today, after the board passes the resolution, that's just kind of a more, and maybe it's in the plan that was provided by Officer Winchell, just specifically about the streets being closed on which day, at what time, and when they'll be opened again. I mean, that's kind of a nut of.
All the written notices that go to the public are in that plan.
Yeah.
Ones that are published, press releases and everything.
We'll look at that in detail and
I like that. I can get those through.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. We shall have to vote.
Yes.
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 yes,
Yes.
Yes.
North Avenue.
All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Ready.
I would like to move that we pass a parade permit for the Wiggle Little League for April 27th, Saturday.
Good in my mind. Anybody have any comments on it? I mean, this is the same parade we always have every opening day. Starts at the police station.
I'm gonna hit somebody.
Hyde Park.
Hand this to my lovely spouse, please. Thank you.
I want to throw. Thank you, Fran. Don't throw.
You know, now I'm locked out, so I'm going home with you.
No, I'll argue with you. I just say you're not
My house is only one.
Well, we lost the crowd. Thanks for staying, guys.
Thank you for your
How are
love.
we doing on the parade? How are we doing on the parade permit? Is
Does
that?
anybody have any questions on the parade permit? It's for the Little League. It's a normal opening day thing. They start at the police station, they march to the Little League field, 27th.
Down North Ave.
Right down North Ave, under the underpass. Usually a fire truck follows them. Police cars, the whole deal.
So I moved it to someone second.
I'll second.
Fran already did?
That was the other one.
No, that's Charles.
All right, Charles has.
I didn't hear anything come out of my mouth.
No, I thought we were back on the story. We already did that, okay.
All right,
Little League.
so let's vote on the Little League parade.
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
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 And yes.
That's right, I already had to vote.
Like a psychic, right?
EMS.
All right, hold it. Well, we're still on the Little League topic. Little League did get New York State 10 and under tournament for the next 3 years. Had a press conference the other day at the Elks Club, so that's good news for sure.
It's gonna be good for businesses and
Yeah, they're talking, hotels, these people gotta come to Owego and stay the whole week, so there'll be people in town eating food.
Should be done.
It's July 20th through the 27th.
there was also talk about trying to figure out something with like movie night,
Yes,
theater.
trying to use the park for more things than just Little League.
Yeah.
What could they do? Movie like it, across from the park view, that park,
Yes, similar.
because they've used that before. That'd be
Right.
good.
So they are talking about doing that kind of stuff over at Hyde Park.
It'll really showcase our,
It's a nice,
All around the village, yeah.
it's a nice facility, if you haven't been over there lately. They've done a lot of work.
this adds a whole new event.
Hopefully we'll be doing some more someday, the next 2 years. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to know. Next, next item is the EMS billing RFP response.
We don't have anybody here from the,
We don't, so we received one response. We looked through all of this.
Yeah, I had a chance to look through it. I mean, it's kind of what you would expect from an RFP response. They outline exactly kind of what it is that they'll be doing. There's a proposed contract in there. Generally speaking, I think the contract's fine. There's a couple tweaks to it that I would recommend. For instance, it requires, if there's ever litigation with them about the contract, to go up to where they're located. And I would recommend that we do the opposite of that, but just things like that, nothing otherwise out of the ordinary, I think, from my perspective.
And it is, we did get the price cleared up. So there's two options for price, the way I read it, right? The option one, or A, I think they call it, is they would charge a fee of 7% of the bill on non-Medicaid bills. So all private insurance companies, private people, we the village would be charged 7%. That would be their fee from us to process the bill. And then Medicaid claims would be $15 per claim, flat rate. And that's good for 3 years. And there's another option.
What was that flat rate again?
Medicaid would be $15 per claim.
Yeah, it's okay.
And there's a second option where there's no percentages. Every bill that we send, every claim that we send that they bill is $35 per bill. That's what they would charge us to do the billing.
And the average service is like $1,000, right?
So they have example bills in here.
Yeah.
One of the steps is we get to set the rates. But their average bills look like they're billing out about $1,000. I mean, on average.
So Mike, Mayor, excuse me, back to the 7% for bill, we were talking about that. Is that 7% for what we collect or 7%? If they send a bill for 1,000 to an insurance company,
Right.
do they get 7% of 1,000 even though we don't collect that, therefore making it $70? Or do they get, if the insurance company pays us $300, do they get 7% of the $300 that we collect, making it $21?
I couldn't decipher that here, maybe Nate can.
Yeah, doesn't it have to be approved amount? I mean, insurance companies and Medicare, they say, okay, we
Right.
got your bill, but we
There's an amount
only
that they pay.
You understand what I'm saying, Nick?
Yeah.
Let me take a flip through this and I'll see if I can.
Because that makes a big difference. I mean, 7% of $1,000 is $70.
So this is the only company that got back to us with a proposal, even though someone else didn't. And it would be interesting if we had someone here, say Paul, who had been in touch with some of these people. I would be interested to know what their typical rate kind of a thing is, to know if this is what we should expect. Is this good? Is it bad? Is it right in average?
So in their background, this company has been in business 28 years, I think. They're 28 years billing experience. They provided a list of other ambulance services they do. They do Delmar, New York, Mount Morris, Adams, Utica, Saranac, Maine, Den Moria, Tupper Lake. And they provided their contact information if we wanted to get a hold of them, ask them.
So for the costs, the way that they phrase it is you may select $35 per billable claim or 7% of non-Medicaid claim revenue.
Claim revenue.
Claim revenue. So, I mean, I would think that
Yeah.
revenue would mean
That's
actual
what we get.
realized
Yeah,
as opposed to billable.
approved amounts.
And that's certainly something to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly, if it's 7 per how much we get, then that's certainly our better.
Yeah, well, because you get a discount on the Medicaid claims.
Yeah, we get 15 instead of 35 on Medicaid, and we get 7% of what we get, which would be,
I mean, they provide some sample reports from other
insurance
communities,
companies going to get us
obviously.
$1,000.
And the Medicaid claims, I assume they'll be the same here, are the biggest percentage of those.
No, I think what you could do, if you were so inclined, is to say, okay, let's ask these folks to come to a meeting. We've received a response, we'd like to sit down and meet with them to talk through some of these questions about how some of the things would work. I've maybe scheduled a special meeting. I know it's a long time until the first May meeting. I think that's May 8th, which is kind of late.
And we want to get this going.
We don't need it.
ASAP, yeah.
We gotta get this rolling, yeah.
I mean, you could authorize an agreement tonight, subject to the minor legal tweaks that I would make to it, assuming that they would agree to it, and then we could just try to get it going. But then you need to pick on then you need to pick a compensation schedule: $35 per claim or 7%.
If that 7% turns out to be the amount of revenue that we get,
Yeah.
we should
I think that's-
seriously consider picking that.
Well, since this is the only offer we have right now, could we have a contract with them for like 1 year, depending on...
We would have to talk with them about that. I think their proposal is for a 3-year term initially, and then it would automatically renew every year after that unless it gets canceled by the board.
But, I mean, there's stuff in there like training and stuff that they're doing up front that they may not want to, I'm speaking for them, but they may not want to sign up for a 1-year contract.
Yeah, if it was a 1-year contract, they might say, well, then the training has to get paid just as a flat fee in the first year, and then the rates might
What's
change
training?
all as a result of that.
Mayor?
What's involved in training?
Like how to fill out the reports so that
Oh,
they
for our
can bill.
EMTs, training
Yes.
our EMTs,
Yes.
okay.
There's some equipment that they're gonna provide, I think.
Are there, I didn't see the contract, are there other expenses for us in the contract that we're liable for?
Well, this covered everything, didn't it?
Yeah, that's 7%. Those prices covered the whole deal.
When we talked about this originally, weren't we bandying about the number of people thought maybe 10%? So this is even better than we had anticipated along those lines.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think it's a bad number.
Certainly it's the only number you got.
Right. We don't have much to compare it to.
If you go out to bid, it's gonna be another month.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And there is a timeline in here, just so everybody's aware. Private insurance companies or private individuals, since we are split off now, our EMS is a separate department, it's legal to bill. As soon as they're trained, they can start billing. So if we sign this contract, they come down and train a couple of weeks, a month, whatever, we can start billing.
And we know that the Medicaid is going to take us months, a bunch of months.
Medicaid, they've got 14 to 16 weeks from when we kick that process off. We've got to get approved by the state, all that kind of stuff. And that's 14 to 16 weeks before we can start sending them bills.
For the Medicare, Medicaid stuff.
And then who knows how long it takes them to pay the bill. Maybe another month or two.
So should we take some action on this tonight? Is this the company, is this the price, and with the things that we're going to stipulate?
Yeah, I think if the board wanted to pass a resolution authorizing a contract with MedX that if you're going to choose the 7% of claims, with the caveat that, you know, the explanation would be it's money is received, not just billed out. You know, not subject to legal review for other items.
They don't differentiate here, they're both section A addendum.
Yeah, the addendum would go to the contract, and it's just in their explanation, they say, yeah, pick which addendum you want, and that would be the.
So we want this first one, 7%, $15 per Medicaid claim. Well, I mean, whatever you guys want.
You getting all this kind of ready?
Sure.
And so I'm going to be making a motion that we contract with this company with those terms, with the stipulation that it's billable collected rather than billed, and with the attorney's legal review and acceptance. Is that about how we say it?
Yeah.
I knew that. Name of the company?
MedX Billing, they're out of Leroy, New York. Don't ask me what it is, because I have no idea.
It's there.
Like Batavia,
Near Mexico.
that way.
Somewhere up north. Do we have any more discussion on that? You guys have anything?
I think it's a good idea to get this moving. We've got to start billing.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to get a bill, but we gotta start doing it. All right, so vote for him,
Yes.
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 and yes. Annual estimate of taxes, 2019, that's around.
Okay, so last year we billed $2,100,000. We're subject to the 2% tax cap, which means the most we can raise above this is like $40,000. Okay? So that's your tax-free, unless you decide to go for a 2% tax cap override. So, these are, and it looks like this year looks like you'll be able to go 2%. Because inflation's a little over.
1.7.
No, I think I checked, it's like 2.7, so.
Okay.
So that's your estimate.
If the board does want to do a tax cap override, that would require a local law, which means the local law process, you know, public hearing and the notice. So if you want to do it, we need to do it relatively soon in time for budgeting.
This has to be adopted by end of June. Yeah. But that's what you're looking at. The most we could go is $40,000 more, which is much.
So is that all we do? Is that all the annual estimate is? You're telling us this.
Okay? Yeah.
In general, I think it's good governance to pass an override in case you needed it in an emergency, but I'm not going to make that motion at this time to do that.
I think you could do, and I think this is what the village board did last year. They held a public hearing in January on a tax cap override and didn't adopt it.
They don't like to do that.
Once you hold the public hearing, then you can adopt it at a later meeting if you needed to.
Gotcha.
The next thing I note also is that you should plan on having some budget meetings.
Yes.
Because we, like Tracy's done his budget, and a lot of people now have got their budgets sort of in place. If you think of a good time to have budget meetings, Jeff does it.
Is that set up department head meetings? We'll cross that off the agenda here.
Yeah, where's that? That is.
Since Jeff's the only department head here.
So, so you gotta either do them, should we just do them when we get back from your conference and after May 8th, we'll set some times for budget hearings?
Yeah.
Jeff shaking his head.
Is that right? Sure. So probably the week,
Accept whatever I give you.
Well, I think we need to see what you guys give us to determine this 2% deal.
but so probably the Monday after the May 8th meeting, so that'd be,
It's a full-time code enforcement
10 minutes
officer.
left. That'd be a good day for couple budget meetings. The Monday following the May 8th meeting.
May 13th or whatever that day is, Monday.
That'd be good to get a couple, and then maybe a couple more in that week, maybe.
Does the whole board have to be there for the board meeting?
No, but I have to advertise it, so if you wanna pick a day, then I can advertise it. You wanna do it the Monday after the May 8th meeting? You wanna do some budget meetings? Jeff says yes, okay.
Mondays are okay for me, yeah.
Okay. Monday after the 8th.
Well, anything on Mondays.
Like we'll do like 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we'll start at 6, 7, 8, and do 2 or 3.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
I'll really want to stay right
I'll put it in the paper.
I'll be here all night.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I think that's it on that. Oh, the other thing is you got the annual